Hello, chat. How are you? I'm feeling high energy. I don't know why. I'm just feeling high energy today. Ah, jeez, dude. Ah, jeez. Let me start this off by giving a little bit of an update about the usual bullshit. Like what I'm up to outside the stream, outside the content. Then we'll move on to the news. Today is March 31st, final day of March. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to fall on an April Fool's, and I had an excellent April Fool's joke lined up for this stream. So I guess I'll just keep it in my back pocket until the day that April Fool's falls on a Friday. Then maybe I'll unleash it on the world. The patches, the guy doing them has been overwhelmed by the number of patches I've forced him to make. So he's had to get help. It's 8 of the 9 items are done for the sets. The last one is getting made now. So if you have an address change for your patches, because it has been so long since December when the second orders came in, email me immediately with your order number and your new address, because I am changing that shit this week. If you've emailed me your address change and you haven't gotten a response, I have them in a little folder. I'll hand them all at once. Don't worry, I'll get to them. That is on its way. The other thing that I'm going to alert you to regarding merch stuff is that I have after desperately begging the guy who made my last designs to contact me, he has gotten back with me, gotten in touch with me, and now we have a cool concept for the hoodie that I'm gonna do, the hoodie and apparel for the Decennial stuff. So this is like the sketch. I really love it, and we'll probably move forward in this direction for the 10-year design. As far as my computer issues, remember, because it crashed last time, I got on my hands and knees, I opened up my computer underneath my table, and I reseated my GPU and my memory, and I managed to break every shitty little piece of plastic inside of it. I think I broke the little facet that holds the GPU in place and the, whatever you call that slot, and then I broke all 3 of the plastic hooks on the case, so now it's like holding together by one little thing that keeps the frame on. It has not crashed since then. So I'm hopeful that it will not crash anymore. I don't know what it could be, so we'll see if it does. It hasn't crashed since. And there's one other thing I was going to mention. Computer clashy. Oh, what I'm working on. I was doing some coding last week and the week before. This week I have kind of taken a little bit of a break. I've been playing Dead by Daylight and EU4 again. Just to kind of relax. But in the meantime, while I'm not coding, I have been in touch with a bunch of different providers. And there's going to be significant changes to the infrastructure so that we will have a diversity of 4 different direct companies providing us entry into to the internet. And then several different IXs, 4 different countries actually. And then many different tier 2s and tier 1 ISPs. That's coming next week. And what that means is that hopefully KiwiFarms.cc will be back up and I can post on the Fediverse again. And we can start bringing up other side projects that would be fun and that would enhance the community. And it should stabilize the site and save me a lot of money per month. The emergency setup that we've been running on is prohibitively expensive to run long term. So as of next week, fingers crossed, everything goes according to plan. We will be in a position better than we were when the Drop Kiwi Farm stuff happened. It's just been a lot of, faffing about and talking to people and figuring out what the fuck to do to long-term arrange our setup. And I think that I've figured out with the help of several very, very smart people who have no business trying to help me out as much as they do, industry experts who have gone out on a limb to try and facilitate long-term solutions to the problems that we have really helped me figure out what, because remember, I have an Associates of Arts. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I learn everything on the job. Everything that I know, I've learned trying to figure out how to fix a problem that someone else has inflicted on me as I try to talk about Christian Weston Chandler and Ethan Ralph. Okay, so I've been very fortunate that some people have taken pity on my situation and have decided to talk to me about what's going on, and offered services at well below what they're worth. So that's getting sussed out, and hopefully next week will be wonderful, and I can take a deep sigh of relief and start working on the code for the new forum rewrite, which is definitely still happening. I promise. I have a very strong idea of how I want it to be made now, and I just have to do it. That being said, time to move on to the many happenings of this week, to the point where I don't think that I can cover everything reasonably. So I'm just focusing on the things that I've noticed, and maybe if we have some time to kill at the end of the stream, I will pull up some random shit. First thing is first, the Internet Archive has lost a lawsuit. From what I understand about this, this was not unexpected. The Internet Archive, a nonprofit organization that runs archive.org and hosts about 50 petabytes of digital media on their servers, was sued by 4 different book publishing companies because they tried to make the internet equivalent of a library. And the publishing companies did not take to this lightly, so they sued for copyright infringement. I believe it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they lost. So I think there's a little direct quote here. It says, there is nothing transformative about the Internet Archive's copying and unauthorized lending of the works in the suit, the judge writes. The story, not the Supreme Court, a federal judge. So they could probably appeal it to the Supreme Court. However, I don't think that would make any difference because I believe they will lose this, regardless of what they do. This is a write-up from file770.com, in case you would like to read this. But the gist is that they've lost that. And it is frustrating because it's like, what is really the difference between what they do and what a library does? I guess a library keeps a permanent physical copy, so you have to give it back. You can't just like keep it on your shelves. You would imagine that maybe book publishers would perhaps tolerate this, but on the other hand, I feel like for instance, YouTube has access to basically every song ever made now because they've struck deals with all the publishers. I feel like maybe if they had worked proactively with these publishers, they might have been able to come to an amicable agreement. It's different with like the Kiwi Farms. The content we host is hostile to publishers and OnlyFans whores, for instance. So and people who make videos and content. So that is, in one hand, makes it so I can't proactively try and help anyone in any way. But on the other hand, the fact that it is a hostile relationship between the creator and the forum provides me a great benefit in regards to fair use, because as it was, the Sargon case is actually really important here, because in the Sargon case, he uploaded a clip that just sort of reduced down somebody speaking to a minute of them talking to try and highlight contradictions in what they said, and the judge literally said that because that clip was present on Sargon's channel, that contributed to a transformative aspect of fair use. So if I take a video and I upload it to the Kiwi Farms, there's already a great benefit of fair use there because it's on the Kiwi Farms, which is inherently a critical place. So the Internet Archive didn't have that benefit, and that's why they lost. However, I don't want to shit on... me personally, not a favor of rights holders. I'm actually so annoyed with copyright at this point. If copyright was abolished entirely, I wouldn't cry. I'm just not surprised. However, the flip side of this is that they really, really hate this guy named Chuck Wendig. Wendig, depends on who you ask, supposedly was a reason why this lawsuit started to begin with. So John Hendren says, this is the guy whose writing is so valuable he destroyed the Internet Archive. Thank you, Chuck Wendig. And Wendig writes, Wednesday, the day you flumpity foo, and you think boopity bop and zippity zoom, but the truth is razza frazza wazza wooza. What I'm trying to say is maybe your brain isn't working either, but that's okay because you're great. P.S. You need a firmware upgrade in the form of coffee. So this is a man whose writing was impacted by the Internet Archive and their digital library of written works, and he felt very strongly about that. Let me read this one, actually. This was one of the initial tweets that got him in trouble. He said at NPR, because NPR was talking, we did an article about, hey, this is great. This is like the middle of the pandemic. Libraries are closed because that's a public place and that could spread the virus that we're trying to get over, right? So they say library books are maybe a no-go these days, but the nonprofit Internet Archive is keeping digital bookshelves stocked through the end of national coronavirus crisis. Chuck Wendig takes issue with this and says, Dear NPR, hey, hi, this is a pirate website. It's not legit. What the fuck are you doing? And that is why he is in the crosshairs for criticism regarding the Internet Archive lawsuit, which does not have popular opinion. But as far as popular opinion, though, one particular author is elated to hear this news that these evil pirates have been destroyed in this lawsuit. My boy, Patrick Tomlinson, as a important sci-fi author himself, he knows the importance of protecting his works from copyright thieves such as the Internet Archive. So he has come out in support of this decision. Stalker child, pirate stalker child. You cannot download my books. You cannot freely distribute my books to the public. That is fascism, stalker. So this guy is saying, I think he is... Oh, he works with the Internet Archive. He says, hello, lowercase I, Internet. I'm a librarian at the uppercase I, Internet Archive. Important reminder that Chuck Wendig is not involved in the publisher's lawsuit, has spoken out against the lawsuit, and has spoken out in support of the Internet Archive. Be mad at the publishers. So it's unclear if maybe he was just like a retard. He doesn't seem to have a good brain. So he's like, oh, fuck these guys. Then he realizes, oh, it's just a library. That's fine. But he says in reply to this that, or later on in 2022, he actually signed a appeal, what do you call those things? A petition. Would you like to sign my petition? He did like to sign the petition, and the petition was in support of Internet Archive against his own publisher, which is a bit of a ballsy move, but it didn't work, obviously. Now, if I'm sounding a little bit of a Debbie Downer in regards to the Internet Archive, that is because I have a good reason to. Some of you may remember this, but the Internet Archive completely and totally blacklists the entire Kiwi Farms domain. If you go to archive.org and you try to open the Kiwi Farms or any link in their archive, they say that they have it stored somewhere in their massive 52 petabytes of data, but you will not be able to find it because they've delisted it from their Wayback Machine. In fact, the Internet Archive has direct links to Taylor Lorenz's family, which is, if you don't remember, Taylor Lorenz is the, I think, Washington Post journalist who doxed libs of TikTok and personally visited her family's house to try and intimidate them into silence over the trans shit. Somehow managed to pull some strings during Drop Kiwi Farms to get Daddy's Internet Archive company to stop listing archive pages of the Kiwi Farms. So forgive me if I'm not crying big boo-hoo sob tears, but they're kind of fucking losers. And maybe if they did their job and didn't selectively decide that they're gonna not archive shit, maybe I'd feel bad for them, but I don't know. I don't. So speaking of people I don't feel bad for at all, Donald Trump has, as of today, actually, I mentioned that he was going to be, or he said that he would be indicted last stream. That did not happen. However, today he has been officially indicted by a Manhattan grand jury. The charges are not yet known, but he is expected to show up in court on Tuesday next week. It's believed to be over the Stormy Daniels incident, and I don't know specifically what charges. So if you haven't heard the news yet, congratulations, you get to hear from me. Donald Trump has been officially indicted by a grand jury, which does not mean that he's guilty. It just means that if you don't know how it works, a grand jury is a jury that decides not if someone is guilty or innocent, but rather if the prosecution has enough evidence to support a case, as opposed to if the full proceedings of a trial. And they, in this instance, have agreed. Not surprising, New York is not necessarily the biggest fan of Donald Trump, and they've been working on this case for, I think, 6 years now, so hopefully they figured something out. And that's it. Now, we could We could ask our boy Baked Alaska what he thinks about this. Baked Alaska, of course, being in jail. I won't even get a chance to miss him. I don't know if I said this already, but really, I won't get an opportunity to even miss Baked Alaska because his jail sentence is so short. He's in jail. So are a lot of other people because Donald Trump did not issue a pardon after tricking them into showing up and getting shot at the Capitol building January 6th. So I don't know. I don't feel bad for Trump. I'm actually really sick of hearing about him. I kind of hope that he would just fuck off after he lost the election. I'm a little bit dismayed to still see him in the headlines because it's like, I don't know. I just really don't want to hear about him. So moving on. This is new legislation. I'm sure everyone has already heard about it because it's one of those things like net neutrality that when it becomes a thing, it spreads around the internet and all the slacktivists go into overdrive. But this is really something that you should contact your representatives over if you're one of those people who enjoy contacting your representatives. This probably will not pass. This has been introduced into the Congress and it has not succeeded in passing so far. However, it's worth making fun of a little bit. So they're going to try to ban TikTok, and they have a big long list of what hostile nations are, and that if you use any kind of VPN or software to bypass those restrictions to try and access these banned apps, you could face up to 20 years in prison because our government gives multi-decade sentences for the most trivial bullshit imaginable because we are ran by sociopaths who have no connection to the common person whatsoever. So I'm not going to read through this. However, there is a video by Louis Rossmann, who actually joined the forums in spite of all the taboo associated with joining the forums, to talk about things in regards to censorship on YouTube, I believe. However, he's also put out a 35-minute long video explaining what the restrict bill is and how it is terrible. Louis? Is it Louis or Louis? He's not actually Jewish. Okay, I wonder. So if you would like to learn about this, here's a nice video by Louis Rossmann for you to watch. However, I will personally show you this. This is the Restrict Act. This is it. I'm sorry, it was not in Congress. Actually, it is in Congress. I always mix this up. Most people do too, though. Congress is the bicameral Senate and House of Representatives. The House is what you would consider congressmen usually. The senators are also congressmen, but we call them senators. Technically, they're representatives. This is in the Senate, which is part of the Congress. And you can see the co-sponsors here. And if this is introduced by a Democrat, but if you look over here, it has bipartisan support. 1 independent, 11 Democrats, 13 Republicans. So you have, if something in this day and age has bipartisan support, you know that number one, the bill is pure fucking evil, usually. And you can probably know that everybody who co-sponsors it is absolute shit and you should never vote for them. If you're a voting cuck, here's a nice list of people to never vote for ever again. If you're in West Virginia in particular, you are fucked because West Virginia, Maine, New Mexico, and Colorado have both of their senators voting for this shit. So if you're in any of those states, your senators are shit. Even it's crazy that there's a guy in Maine that's independent that's going to vote for this fucking garbage. So take a nice look at this. If you're in any of these states and you want to know if your senator is literally insane and bought out by the physical embodiment of Satan on this planet. Fun fact. This is also a little shout out to someone who watches my streams. Not a member of the Kiwi Farms as far as I know. You may have seen a verified check mark on the stream chat every so often from a guy named Ruben. And the first time I saw this guy like a year ago, I'm thinking, what the fuck is a Ruben Sim? I've never heard of him. Is he like an IBS person? So I pull him up. He has over like 1 million subscribers. And he makes Roblox videos. And my boy Ruben has reached my attention, actually, because he has pissed off furries. He went on Twitter and posted, I think, a video of himself in the Arizona State Congress petitioning for furries to be banned. And then he posted a voicemail number saying that if you want to protest the Arizona decision to ban furries, you should leave a voicemail there, which, of course, is just his own voicemail number. And he got many funny replies. It's a 10-minute long video. I will not deprive you of hearing the entire thing by playing it on my stream, but I will play this one bit, which I found very funny.
Furries or the greater LGBTQ community.
I want to actually play this entire thing.
Any people at all, I'm calling to voice my opposition. Bills targeting furries or the greater LGBTQ community. Those kind of bills, legislations, and pushes are part of the greater Nazi agenda. Controversial, but it is actually true. I am against any bills targeting in a negative light the furry community or the greater LGBTQ community. Again, those teams and folks that naturally admit it, but they're essentially Nazis or are Nazis or neo-Nazis, and therefore are as un-American as you can get.
He's like shaking leaving this voicemail.
Oh my God.
What I really liked about that is, number one, he's dropping the N-word for Germans all over the place, which is already rude. You can't just say the N-word like that. The other thing that's funny is his admission that furries are like a part of the LGBTQIAP+. So we're going to have to find a place to put an F there. Now, I should explain, this is a little bit of an in-joke that I haven't explained in a while. When I say, the reason why I say LGBTQIAP+ is not only to fully, like that is the actual full acronym now. That's what they push. But I say it because the P in it is supposed to be pansexual, but to me it means pedophile. So I just say the entire thing to to be as passive aggressive as possible. But we have to find an F in there somewhere. Oh, it's my boy Ruben, who just joined, and he sees himself on the screen and doesn't know what to think about it. We were discussing how it could add furry to the LGBTQIAP+. I guess at the end sounds bad. LGBTQIAPF. Nah, that doesn't work. LGBTFIAP+. Well, that excludes the Q. It's really tough. This is a tough one. It's already a tongue twister, and we're gonna try to figure out how to put furry in there, because they've invited themselves to the party. Okay, that's the Ruben Sims show. He is watching now, so go watch his video. It's pretty funny. And now, much less funny, there are dead children in Tennessee. So this is quite caused quite the kerfuffle. This young lady here went to a Presbyterian school in Tennessee, and she did not necessarily have a good time. So, as an adult, she acquired a firearm and went to her Presbyterian school, elementary school, I think. It might be I don't remember if it's an elementary school or like a full school because it's like a religious school. But she then killed 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults, who I believe were faculty, before the brave Nashville, Tennessee police stormed the building. They didn't wait outside waiting for the feds to tell them that they can go in. They went in there with their guns and shot her dead. And then after she was shot, she kind of like seized on the ground a bit, so they shot her some more. And it's pretty great. I don't understand. I would hope that in the future, faculty will also be armed. There is literally no reason not to have armed faculty at these schools anymore. However, the fallout of this is really amazing, because it is a troon. And this is like, I want to say, the 3rd female to male mass shooting that we've seen like in the last couple years. And when you consider that female to male troons are like 0.5%, because it's like 1% of people are trans in the US right now, but this is a woman. So this is 0.5% of the population has committed 3% of the active shootings, not mass shootings in the FBI definition of 3 or more kills in one crime spree, but the active shooting definition. It is horrifically overrepresented. It's massive. It's a little bit crazy, which makes me think that when you take a person who already have mental illnesses and you pump them full of monkey juice, also known as testosterone, the fragile mind of a human being, especially one that is meant to be a woman, with that kind of monkey juice built into them, just makes you go fucking crazy. and you start killing people. Because when you have high testosterone, I think that would be an interesting study. I think if you have high testosterone, I bet you violence in your logical machinations of your brain, violence becomes a more rational, like a acceptable answer. If you take a woman and you pose her like 4 different options to a question, like say a political option, any kind of political option that could involve force, a woman will almost always choose anything except violence. I bet you. But then when you get to men, depending on their predispositions, they may choose violence. But I bet you if you take like a monkey man, like a proper juiced up weightlifter, and you say you have this options, you could, do like a trade deal, you could do like a negotiation, you could figure something else out, or you could just send over the military and fucking kill them all. I bet you once you have, especially if you have extra testosterone being shot into you, your option of kill them all is more appealing over time. Just a thought. Now this, I almost never in my streams, even though I do TTD quite a bit, there is a manifesto. It's very obvious why they do this. The Tennessee passed bans on transgender shit and transitioning recently. So the police department has been very forthcoming with getting the videos out, which is applaudable because usually they try to hide them. It's obvious that some places in the U.S. like Tennessee are based, and they will kill you if you fuck around with a weapon, and they will release the video of you being shot to death as a warning to other people. And I guess I don't know what they're doing with the manifesto. The feds are probably involved at this point and say no. Do not release the manifesto. And that's probably going to go to a federal court thing. The FBI is going to give them like an order. Don't you dare release this manifesto. You're going to get people shooting each other. And then it's going to go to court, and it's going to be appealed and go to federal court. Then eventually there'll be an injunction given to Tennessee, and then they'll say, okay, we're releasing the manifesto. Go fuck yourself. That's what's probably going to happen. Now, there is a dichotomy to this. Yes, this woman is incredibly evil, obviously. Yes, this woman is incredibly mentally ill. No, female to males are not less mentally ill than male to females. I think there's a different origin. I think male to females are molested and or pornography addicts. And then once you're that addicted to pornography, a man will eventually see being a woman and being a submissive as like the most ultimate kind of turn on. With women, I think that female to males are almost exclusively sexual assault survivors who want to make themselves as unattractive to men as possible. And that's why they go that route. I think that's almost always what happens with them. Either side of either branch, I think that is rooted in abuse and mental illness. It's just a little bit more tragic when it comes to the female to males because it's self-inflicted. Or it's not self-inflicted, rather. However, the other tragic element of the female to males is, number one, it's less self-inflicted. The other one is that people don't care about the female to males as much. And I will explain my position throughout this, because I have another thing to talk about, not really related to this, that is interesting to me. So this is a person, this message got deleted by Reddit Legal in a mod of the subreddit. And this person is explaining that the violent rhetoric from transgenders and Antifa definitely contributed to this, because the rhetoric from the far left, progressive elements, and transgender people is violent. It's like, either you do what I want or I'll kill you. That's like the bumper sticker. And then there's a little trans flag and an AK-47 and then like a pitchfork crossed together. And it's like, do what I say or I'll fucking murder you. That's the message. And then they say, well, normal people look at this and go, well, that's the result of when you say, do what I say or I'll fucking murder you. People will actually start doing that. So Takashold, who got deleted by Reddit Legal, says, trans posters and trans forums and trans accounts on Twitter regularly promote violence against quote-unquote Nazis and quote-unquote TERFs and quote-unquote fascists. They mean it. They want violence. They talk about punching, shooting, stabbing, beating with baseball bats, and they put all the images of rifles on trans flags. When you look at the targets of the rhetoric, most of the targets aren't actually Nazis, TERFs, or fascists. They're dissident voices, conservative Christians and feminists, and everyday people who don't hold the fringe belief about sex that many trans people hold. Last week, I saw a video of a 72-year-old butch woman being punched full force, closed fist, by a bearded trans rights protester in New Zealand. I saw trans people commenting to minimize or justify it. I see a lot of that. I've been seeing it for years. So has everyone else on social media. The community tells trans youth that they're under attack, under threat of genocide, tells them death before detransition. The community says trans kids are being killed by legislation. 2 trans people have now taken guns into schools and literally killed children as revenge. The murderous and suicidal rhetoric, the violence against women and children should be stopped years ago. Another good time to discontinue it would be now. I go into trans subs to see that almost every reaction to the murder of young children is self-concern. I'm the victim here. I'm in more danger than ever before. This is genocide against us, and every time this murder's identity and motives are mentioned, we're being killed. There is the problem. You can't fix it alone. It's horrific and immense and intense, and it's overwhelming. There would have to be a consensus that things need to change. I don't know what it would take. Maybe it's too late, and this is what the trans movement has become, and this is how it ends. Very smart, incredibly well written, high IQ post here by Takesh Hold. However, or takes hold. It's 2 words, takes hold, not Takesh Hold, even though that sounds a little bit better. So takes hold says this, very smart, big brain, high IQ. Reddit legal goes, too smart for Reddit. We gotta delete this shit, and it's gone, and it's gone. And it's gone. You thought you could say shit on the internet? Go fuck yourself, to Keshold. Example of the response on Twitter, the other bastion of intellectual discussion. Karen Lopez at DataChick, which is a name I'm familiar with. I can't remember why. This must be a Drop Kiwi Farms weirdo. 5 times CNN misgendered. No correction. A mass shooting is horrible. Misgendering does not make anything better. So obviously that's stupid. However, they bring up an interesting point, chat. Why is CNN misgendering an F to M? Is it really does confuse me, chat. What is the issue? Is it that they don't want do they not want to mention that this person is transgender, but they don't hide that really in the articles that the person was transgender? They pretty much outright say that the motives were politically aligned towards the trans legislation stuff. It's just that they don't give a fuck. They don't care they don't give a fuck about a female to male. It just looks like a little girl holding a gun wearing boys' clothes. So they don't give a fuck. But why? Why is it like this? Why do the female to males get 0 respect? It's like, I guess they thought being a man would be easier than being a woman, and then they become a man, and it's like, oh, well, you're so short, you're a manlet, you got wide, effeminate hips. Yeah, you just kind of look like a little girl to me. I'm not gonna bother with this shit. Call you Adrian? Fuck that. And I'm really stumped on this. This is one of those Reddit posts that Takesh Hold was talking about, and this is by Captain Fuzzy Boots 3 days ago. My thoughts on the shooting to our Queer Defense Front. I didn't know where to write this, but I feel like I need to get it out. The sub seems safe since it's members only currently. First off, I absolutely abhor what this person did. I do not in any way defend what they did, why they did it, etc. It is a horrible tragedy. That said, I am feeling so conflicted here. No matter the reason, this is going to result in further deaths and targeted killings of trans people. Like, what the fuck was that person thinking? I have this feeling it's going to come out that they did it as some sort of revenge or shit for anti-trans and shit. If that's the case, what the fuck? They just made everything 100% worse. I'm hoping that it's 100 times worse, not 100% worse. Come on now. We literally have armed protests outside of drag shows before this shit. Then my next post that I feel guilty and extremely guilty and shame for thinking the constant misgendering in the news about this person. I don't mean to imply that this person is not a monster, but the message it is sending to every other trans person that your basic identity can be revoked. Yes, this person did absolutely inhumane, monstrous things, but literally every other serial killer, mass shooter, etc. are described as what they are. This just feels like, I don't know. Maybe I'm fucked up for thinking these things. Tranifestations, which is supposed to sound like manifestations, but when you write it like this, it sounds like trans infestations as opposed to trans manifestations. This is a bearded soy jack. I don't know. What do you call the Reddit thing? It just looks like a soy jack to me with like an alien doodad on its head. A snoo. His snoo chat has a beard. I hear you on the misgendering. We deserve to have our gender honored, even if we are monsters. We don't misgender cis people when they murder. Doesn't excuse anything. It's just basic. And it's Sammy the Fox says, I strongly agree with the sentiment. Strongly agree. Well, can we get come on now. This is just fringe lunatics on Discord. Can we get an opinion from someone who really knows what they're talking about? Can we get
a lot of people on the right who are making a super big deal out of the fact that this one killer was trans? Hey, J-Dot. You know that, this is like the third trans person who was to engage in a mass shooting? Right, like there's been 3, right? This is like the third one, right? First trans man to do it. The other 2, I guess, were trans women. So, like, but yeah, like third trans person to go in a mass, to do a mass shooting. And yeah, and 1 non-binary. So 4 then, technically. And yeah, fucking people in fucking Congress trying to make it as though, fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Walsh and fucking everybody on the right. Like, clearly this is proof that the trans people are unbalanced. Clearly the issue is trans people. 4 fucking people out of several, out of like 2,800 or something like that. There's been like 2,800, there's been something like 2,800 mass shooters. Or maybe not 2,800, but, there's been hundreds and hundreds of mass shooters. And like 4 of them are trans. And let's focus on the problem is the trans people. Clearly the problem is trans people are crazy. I'm watching contributing funds.
His water is really murky. That's bizarre. My favorite part is when he gets corrected on the number. There's only been like 2. There's only been like 3. There's only been like 4. He's just keeping. I was hoping it would just keep going. Okay, so maybe there was like 16 trans shooters. Just keep going forever and ever. Let's get more of these sane takes. Here's one from Libs of TikTok, aforementioned. This appears to be a real woman on TikTok, but let's see what she has to say.
I wonder if the parents of the victims of the Nashville shooting today would still have their children if these trans bills in Tennessee were never a thing. I'm not a parent, but if I were, I'd be real mad at the government. I'd be real mad at the government.
Not a parent, and we're thankful for that. Do what I say, or I'll fucking kill you. Here's another one. There's so many great reactions that come out of this.
But it is not out of fear or trepidation, but out of indignation and righteous anger. I've been graciously provided by this body a mere 2 minutes to plead the case for my humanity. This morning, I spent not an inconsequential amount of time pondering what to wear, how to do my makeup, what I should sound like, how I could best present myself to make my humanity clear and obvious to this committee. Isn't that a shame? In reality, it should be obvious that I'm deserving of the same rights and privileges afforded everyone else. By hiding your bigotry behind children like cowards, you will find yourself on the wrong side of history. By manipulating the words of an ancient text and shoehorning it into legislation aimed at an at-risk minority population, you liken yourselves to another group that gained popularity in Germany in the 1930s.
Oh my God. I'll be honest, I didn't listen to this one before playing it because I listened to a little bit and like, yeah, that's perfect. I'll throw this on. It's like how the Nazis are dead. The Nazis are dead. My great-grandfather killed them all. They're all fucking dead. They don't exist anymore. There's none in Germany. We hang them all. They literally do not fucking exist. Can you please, for the love of fucking God, find something else to obsess over because the Nazis are fucking dead.
If you have ever wondered what you would have done had you been a member of the so-called greatest generation, then simply look around to what you are doing in this moment. When a small man with a smaller mustache stood before crowds and proclaimed himself superior to others, I see you here doing the same. The first books that the Nazi Party burned were those of Magnus Hirschfeld and the Institute of Sexual Health. Some of the first imprisoned under the Nazi Party rule were
the audacity to bring up Hirschfeld and the Sexual Institute for Wissenschaft. The audacity to bring up that as if that's a point in your favor. You want to talk about root causes for Nazi Germany? That's one to bring up.
Sexual and transgender people. Likely the first woman to undergo a successful gender reassignment surgery was killed in that same prison. When those prison camps were freed by the Allies, we were the ones who were still kept in prison for our so-called crimes, for loving who we love and for living our truth. We can see through this veneer of legislation and assess the intended target, the continued marginalization and othering of the LGBTQIA plus community. Rhetoric
He said it. He said the good one. Yay.
Intended to strike fear into the hearts of the people of this state. I will not sit here and debate your fascist ideology, as peddlers of intolerance deserve no such stage on a public forum. I will not appear to the notions of tax base, of jobs, or business growth in this state.
Thank you.
They are inconsequential of the recognition of the basic rights of your fellow humans.
Thank you for your testimony.
The bill is 2 seconds away from the outdated, discriminatory, laws of the 20th century, and I will not stand for it. We will not stand for it. We may not win today, and we may not win tomorrow, but we will persist, as we always have, in the fight of your oppression. If you wish to eradicate transgenderism from the public life, as members of your party have said, to put on your arguments, you can press
Seethe. That's a good one. So, as mentioned, the Troons recently set up one of these events in DC called Trans Day of Vengeance, which has now been canceled by the organizers due to credible threat to life and safety. I wonder if calling your organization the Trans Day of Vengeance and then having it scheduled right after a mass murder perpetrated by a Troon, is that a Lion King? Look, it's Scar too. Hey, YMS, look, it's Scar. It's your boy. She drew that in crayon or something, colored pencil for you. You should get. If you find this at an auction, you should buy it and hang it up on your wall. So they cancel that shit. Now, what's funny about this? I was actually going to read more of this article. However, I have to afford some time to Tucker Carlson. So many of you may have seen a AI, or rather machine learning generated video of Tucker Carlson saying horrifically racist things and calling for violence. You may have seen this video. However, he has finally actually read the copy pasta calling for roundhouse kicking and vats of acid and so on and so forth. This is a real video from a 13-minute clip posted directly to the Fox News channel, which I will play for you.
So once again, you should not be surprised at all that there is something called the Trans Day of Vengeance coming this weekend, planned by Antifa in Washington, D.C. It was originally called the Trans Day of Visibility, but the Trans Radical Activist Network, the organizers, decided to change the name just before the massacre in Nashville. Now it's a Trans Day of Vengeance. And they mean vengeance. Vengeance for what? That's not clear. They've been caught, and so they become more aggressive, as people who worship themselves always do. And you can see it all over social media, threatening images everywhere. One trans activist posted this message yesterday, quote, "Kill Christ cucks, behead Christ cucks, roundhouse kick a Christ cuck into the concrete, slam dunk a Christ cuck baby into the trash can." Attached to this post is an image of someone holding a rifle and wearing body armor. Now, you would think in a country supposedly as...
Now, you would think that could not possibly be real, but this is not a joke. This is on the Fox. What do the comments say? Oh, it's all just it's like real comments. It's not... Nobody is pointing out that he read the copy pasta. Oh, well. So that's the Trans Day of Vengeance. It's canceled. It may still happen regardless, but things are really heating up in the U.S. as a particular vocal minority decides that they're just going to start killing people. The reason why, by the way, there is an argument to be made that nobody seems to care when it happens to a school, and it's true. The conservative reaction is definitely much more muted when it's just a regular good old-fashioned white boy with daddy's AR killing a bunch of children for various misaligned reasons. However, that is simply two things. Number one, that is three things, actually. Probably mentally ill people should not have access to guns, that schools should be armed, and it's mental health, which we have no system for in the United States. We literally have zero mental health care in the United States. If you're crazy, if you're lonely and super mentally ill, there's nothing for you. What do? You go online and you go post on poll, and or you join a Discord and you jerk off with people in a voice chat while pretending to be anime girls. That's it. That's your mental health care system in the United States. But obviously this one's politically motivated, and most of those are not politically motivated. So that's why there's probably a disproportionate amount of outrage towards this compared to another kind of shooting. So on that note, I'm going to segue into the locale stuff. That's all I have to say about the news, really. It sucks. Things are kind of heating up. It's pretty hard to stay white-pilled, but it's a choice. To stay white-pilled, you just gotta be a retard. You just gotta turn off your brain and say, you know what, I'm gonna be optimistic and just focus on what I can actually affect, as opposed to being upset about shit. And what that means to you is different for every person. So that's it. Now I will transition to the locale stuff. So I will segue smoothly. Actually, I won't simply tune out to the locale stuff. I will segue naturally and organically and femininely to quoting myself. I think that here we go. This is Ren. Oh boy, he looks like Anisa Joma. If it wasn't for the 5 o'clock shadow and the really manly jaw, he would look so much like iDubbbz's wife. Wow, the body is matching too. Unbelievable. So I said that, and then this shooting happens, right? And I don't want to spoil it. So let's take a look at Anisa and iDubbbz, what they actually look like right now. This is a very recent picture of them from 21 weeks ago. His hair is even greasier and longer now. But this is them. This is the power couple. iDubbbz looks like a 70s porn star. He's got a Ron Jeremy look going on to him. And Anisa, I don't know, like I say, every time I try to describe Anisa, I just go for busted. That's the safe word. She looks like you took a woman and then took a baseball bat and just beat the fuck out of her, and now she's busted. And this is them hanging out together. And this is a picture of that shrew I talked about and the shooter from Tennessee. And I don't know if you realize this, chat, but they look exactly the same. They are fucking identical. You can see that Anisa's on the left, iDubbbz on the right. They just are dead ringer for each other. It's really the most bizarre thing. So we can call them Pooners and iTunes from these two right here. This is a power couple. If only if iTunes had found Pooners, they would have true love. Degenerate phenotypes, maybe. And I bring this up not just to bully Anisa, which is always funny, but because there is some drama happening with Creator Clash 2. Creator Clash 2 is, I think it's something that iDubbbz and Anisa started up as a competition for some other big YouTuber boxing thing. But it's basically just like YouTubers fighting each other. And since they don't really have a lot of contestants, it's like H3's employees are participating in shit. It's like really, really like anonymous people. And even then, Sam Hyde says in his criticisms of the event that it's not even like a fair matchup. There's like obvious imbalances between the two. Like you have real fighters and people who've never fought before training for the first time. So I don't know what's going on with it. However, I showed on my stream a couple of weeks ago, just because someone asked me to. They said they wanted me to play just a clip of Froggy Fresh on his YouTube channel getting a super, or no, rather other way around. Sam Hyde was on his YouTube channel, and Froggy Fresh sent in a super chat to be like, "Hey Sam, I'd love to train with you." And Sam Hyde responded positively and said, "Sure, whatever." And then soon after that, he's notified by Creator Clash 2 anonymously, so you don't really know who's doing what, that he's no longer a participant in Creator Clash 2. And there is a statement, I believe I've read the other statement already. If not, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to skip to the new one. Creator Clash 2 saying that, as you may be, and this really feels like iDubbbz wrote it. Like the way that iDubbbz is like now super passive aggressive and has like a barely held back hatred of all of his old fans. It definitely sounds like him. Especially one part in particular. As you may be aware, we recently announced Froggy Fresh will be leaving the Creator Class 2 ticket. We want to provide some additional information around the rationale for this decision to help clarify some of the online chatter. It is not possible for me to read that sentence and not hear iDubbbz's voice. It just sounds like something he would say in one of his YouTube videos without any kind of refinement whatsoever. Or having any kind of like HR like look over it to make it sound like not the most pretentious shit possible. We have a legally binding code of conduct that each of our Creator Clash 2 fighters are held to, the violation of which is grounds for termination. Unfortunately, there were several violations made by Froggy Fresh during his tenure with Creator Clash this year. The Creator Clash 2 team, inclusive of the production company, takes violations seriously and made several unsuccessful attempts to address them directly with Froggy Fresh in hopes we could work together to get things back on track. Oh, that's right. iDubbbz made this because Keemstar had his own thing, right? Like he was setting up fights because Keemstar got involved with this. Froggy Fresh denies that they made any attempt to contact him before telling him that he was off the ticket. They completely deny that. And Sam Hyde was doing stuff, I think specifically targeting that one guy, Hassan. And Keemstar asked him to shut the fuck up, and he did. And he talked about this on their little hangout or whatever. But so Keemstar was able to afford Sam Hyde a kind of courtesy that iDubbbz and Anisa were unable to afford Froggy Fresh, with a much smaller venue. And I'll explain why. He continues saying, when it became clear that the exhibited behavior wasn't stopping, at risk to the other fighters, fans, and others involved in the event, the Creator Clash 2 team made the collective decision to move forward without Froggy Fresh on the ticket. Our number one priority is ensuring Creator Clash 2 is a positive, safe, welcoming space for everyone. We look forward to kicking off an amazing event, blah, blah, blah. So it was like a charity boxing thing. So Froggy Fresh had a Kids Cancer Foundation and the Nicholas Children's Hospital as his chosen charities. So iDubbbz personally donated $50,000 to each of those charities to justify kicking Froggy Fresh out, even though he was doing a charity thing to raise money for those two groups. So that's like the charities aren't missing out. I've already covered it for them. So this decision was worth $100,000 to iDubbbz. The Fire's been working hard. Let's focus on their fights, not any that may exist online. That's gay as shit. Keemstar mentioned how beefs on the internet are very important to hyping up the fights in real life. Like that's a component to the advertising. And obviously when you have all that shit with WWE and stuff, it's like the kayfabe, the narrative, the arguments, that hypes people up to see people beat the shit out of each other. It's not, it's not interesting to see people who don't have any issues just having a fair, fun, welcoming a little tussle with each other on the mat for charity for the kids. And nobody gives a shit. I want to see Sam Hyde murder Hassan Piker, literally physically destroy him, break his bone, break his neck in real time. That's the kind of entertainment that I would pay money to see. iDubbbz doesn't seem to understand this. Now the question is, what is worth $100,000 to get rid of Froggy Fresh for, without any warning, without any warning whatsoever? The answer is that he made a joke saying that if he lost the fight, he would subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans. And Froggy Fresh claims that they pointed out a specific clause in their contract with Creator Class 2 that says any mention of Anisa's OnlyFans is grounds for termination. He claims that. That's a very bold statement to make, but when you listen to Froggy Fresh talk, you don't get like this conniving facade to him. He seems like a really grounded person, an everyday kind of guy. I don't think that he has the gumption to make up that kind of bullshit, because they threatened him. They threatened him with a lawsuit because they paid him $15,000 to train with, like for gym memberships and shit, and they want that money back now because iDubbbz just dropped $100,000 to cuckold himself. And he comes out with Sam Hyde, and he seems like I don't know how to say this without being offensive, but just please trust me that he comes across very, very well-intentioned and not the type of guy to lie about shit just for the sake of it. And Sam Hyde repeatedly backs up that kind of that he's that kind of guy. And he just says they pointed out to the contract that I violated it by mentioning her OnlyFans, and they said that's why they terminated. And I'm forced to assume that that is honest because it really sounds like it. So now they're threatening to bury him with litigation when he was just trying to help a charity event, unless he gives them $15,000 that he's already spent to train with to attend their charity event. But I think that what'll probably happen is that they'll find some way. Sam Hyde and Keemstar, he has so much like goodwill support right now for his because he's being obviously fucked over by these gross goblin people. Let me put the goblins back on screen so you can see what goblin people look like. I want to remind you that iDubbbz literally published a video saying that he doesn't care about her OnlyFans, and if dudes jack off to her, that's okay because he's a cool freaking guy, and she'll come back to him at the end of the night anyways. So he's obviously not insecure about this whatsoever, and neither is she. So yeah, I think that probably something will happen. Keemstar and Sam Hyde, using Sam Hyde probably just because he likes the guy, Keemstar because he's very much about building his reputation as someone who's like, oh, sure, I'm involved in the drama, but I'm a good guy and I try to help people when I can. So Keemstar will bail him out, probably give him some opportunity to make some big ones, some big monies to pay back the bullshit and not get litigated into the ground. Oh yeah, some fucking guy, I don't even remember, some asshole. If you listen to the audio of Keemstar and Sam Hyde talking about this, and Nick the Oreo and some other greaseball fucking losers are there. Apparently Oreo likes me. I don't care. I'm gonna keep making fun of him because I only know he's fat and he's named Oreo. I apologize, kind of. But some guy from the organization joins and he just shits all over the place for like 15 minutes, lets nobody talk, and then leaves. And he just says that it's completely justified, and that's it. Oh, he's a troon chaser. Well, then he deserves it. Fuck him. I hope he gets that Pooners that he's going after. So now chat. Here's the question. Okay. What could possibly drive this woman, this goblin woman, to so thoroughly ruin the life of iDubbbz? What could possibly convince her that doing this to her man? By the way, she is his first girlfriend. You want to talk about my PewDiePie rule? This is the instance of it working in reverse. He stuck to his first girlfriend that he met as a fan of his show, and she has completely destroyed him. Could it be this, chat?
Coffee.
Fuck. What was that?
It looked good in the little viewfinder there. So I just kind of kept going.
Six years in the making. 6 years. He thought, I'm a edgy boy. I'm like Sam Hyde. I can beat women and get away with it. I can, it looks good on the viewfinder there. Nothing can happen to me. I'm cool on the internet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at her face. Look how she's looking at you, bro. Uh-oh. Oh, and I get to there's actually a nice segue from this to my next topic as well, because I found this picture while trying to find a nice recent picture of them that shows what kind of how they look like. Trying to find one to compare with this. I knew that they looked more like this in recent times with their hair longer, like porn stars. But I found this one. I thought, you know what? What's really funny about this one? Look at her. Okay, look at that potato face that's going on there. And those really bright red lipsticks going on. And compare her to the Pooner. You might be thinking, chat, what the fuck is this? This is the most indecipherable meme that has come up about in the last couple of years. Basically, the Pooner is a female-to-male transsexual. And since female-to-male transsexuals are currently in the vogue of bullying because of the shooter, the Pooner meme has, which existed before this, has escaped orbital velocity and is now flung into the stars. It's extreme. It's almost kind of hard to explain. They're basically supposed to be these guys, right? Here's an example. These are all female to males. You can see they have the zipper tits and everything. These are male breasts, in case YouTube is wondering. But they got the name Pooners. They're just women that have taken tea, and they kind of they pass better. But if you see them in full, you can tell that they're very small. They're all manlets. So this is on a selfie. Female, I like how the person who took the screenshot decided to downvote this post. That's very nice to include. Female to male 18-year-old can finally learning how to barbecue with the boys and feeling a lot of euphoria. Now, you get to feel objectified, fellow men. Whenever women are male to females talk about how being a woman is just putting on makeup and looking like a whore and being sexually objectified, here you go. Here's a woman barbecuing. She's just like you. She's one of the boys. Hey, look, I'm playing a map game. I'm playing as France in 1444. I'm just like a boy. Oh, look at me. I'm masturbating to pornography. I'm just like a man. I'm barbecuing just like a man does. Basically have encapsulated the male experience. So the Pooner meme is kind of grotesque. It's very similar. Many people pointed this out. They all say dude, and then there's another character. His name is Alice, and he's sort of like, I don't know why he's such a straight-faced guy, but he's the male to female, so they're in like a reverse Uno relationship or something. I don't know what the exact lore is here. But he has to take care of the Pooners, and he's not always happy with the job. They seem to irritate him because he's a male to female. He hates women, so he hates the Pooners, but he's in charge of their custody. And they're sort of like this. It's like weird and grotesque and kind of sad. And it reminded a lot of people of the fluffy pony stuff. If you're fortunate enough not to know what a fluffy pony is, for the love of fucking God, do not look it up. You're not ready for it. But if you do know what it means, you understand what I'm talking about here. It's just like a weird vibe of like grotesquerie that doesn't particularly seem to have any sense. But that's sort of what makes it funny. Is that it's just it's it's so grotesque, and people draw it. Women draw it, and they show it to other women who are trying to be men and say, "Look, it's you." This is you. This is what you look like. Look, oh, you think the Columbine boys are so sexy. This is you, retard. This is what you look like when you shoot up a school. Everyone thinks you look retarded. It's just, it's bizarre. I think it started with women bullying women, as they do, for trying to transition, and not understanding what makes masculinity masculine at all. However, I think that the male to female troons have adopted it as themselves because they hate female to males also, because they pass better than they do, and they hate women. So the fluffy pony, like really grotesque, edgy shit that involves like torture and mutilation, I think that comes from the troons, and the funny stuff, making fun of them. And especially shit like this with the troon character. I would actually encourage people who do decide to make these things to always include the Alice, and that way you can distinguish them from a male to female troon, like weird gore art, because they'll never characterize themselves like this. Sort of like a mark of authenticity, I suppose. That comes from a good place. But yeah, I think that's what it is that they sort of adopted, because it's a funny meme that came about organically. And then as troons do, they said, I can take this and use it against my enemies, the females. And that's just sort of what they've come up with. Very bizarre. I don't know what else to say about this. I don't fully comprehend it because I'm too old for this shit at this point. But hopefully you found it interesting. And find the lips especially is very funny because it looks just like What's Anisa? Apparently her name is Anissa, not Anisa, but I like to say Anisa. Though that's not correct, though I don't give a fuck. Now, this is a warning. This is an emergency alert to everybody in the Ruckersville, Virginia area. SPC Sonichu has escaped containment. This is a Euclid Keklid SPC 1488. It's wandering about in the streets of Ruckerville. Christian Weston Chandler has been released. Initially reported as bonded out because of the system, but it was corrected to court order. The court has mandated that SPC 1488, aka Sonichu, to be released to the streets of Virginia. And it's not actually known where he is, what he's doing, what the conditions of his release are, if he's going back to Branchland Court or if he's going to like a mental hospital. We don't know. We have no idea. This hints that he's just free, but it's actually not known if, like it would say if he went to like a mental hospital. We just don't know. So if you do see a transgender Sonichu wandering about, follow the SPC rules to live. Do not make eye contact. Do not, for any reason, mention Sonic's arms being blue. If asked if you are a boyfriend-free girl, simply say, even if you are not in a relationship, that you are in a relationship. This is the quickest way to make him lose interest. If you hear him stress sigh, do not ask him what's wrong. You don't want to know. And simply nod your head and say, okay. Do not challenge his delusions of godhood, and don't give him money. This is the order from the SCP. Don't protect yourself. Thank you for helping us. Help us all. All right. And then there's more Pete stuff. Yeah, I'll play this. This is fun. I like Pete's being angry. Pete's being angry is satisfying because he doesn't deserve to be happy. This is him. Now, if you don't know, I've been watching a lot of JonTron. I've never watched JonTron throughout my entire life. I never got it. Or I just never had a reason to watch them. I started watching his videos, and aside from the egregious sponsorship shit that I can't skip very easily on my TV, he's very funny. I'm laughing out loud really hard at his videos, which makes sense because he's secretly based. He just can't tell anybody. So I've been watching his videos, and I watched the one about Gwyneth Paltrow and her Goop brand. And I know about it. I know that video is very old, and I know that Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop is also very, very old. So Pizza's apropos of nothing outrage about Gwyneth Paltrow is very bizarre.
So once I'm out of training, my likely shift is probably going to end up being 5:30 in the evening to 2 in the morning. So it's not just calling. It's also live chat and emails. What is this customer service for? I am not giving details, Pick Point Club. Once I'm out of training, I will use my lunch breaks for lunch. Going downstairs to cook at 2 in the morning feels like it'd be inconsiderate to the people I'm renting from. So it might fall off and become irrelevant. Oh yeah, because it's so relevant now. I don't know. Maybe I will get myself a cheap microwave for my own room, just so that I can do microwave dinners at 2 in the morning without it being. We live to work and work till we die, just like God intended. But I don't wanna be that. I don't want to be that sort of person with that sort of life. Yeah, I went to see my mom today. Went to visit my mom today. Did get a carpet, so I've got a carpet here. Just need to lay it out. Visited her a bit. Got Philo's for dinner. And Philo's gives a lot of food. This carpet. It's like a bluish color. Yeah, like Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow sucks. Like Gwyneth Paltrow is fucking awful. Just like absolute fucking disaster. And either she's one of the most shameless grifters on the planet, or she's one of the dumbest fucking people on the planet. If she believes the shit that she sells through Goop, hey, Cheesecake, then she is too fucking stupid to live. Because I get the feeling that she actually does believe in, like, fucking cooch eggs and coffee enemas and what is Goop?
You know what's weird is that like Pizza's very limited on what kind of like mean things he can say about people, because if he can't offend people for any reason whatsoever. He can just say shit like, but I mean, to say you're too stupid to live, that kind of sounds like a YouTube violation. That sounds dehumanizing. If you're too stupid to live, that's like, I feel like that's against some kind of rule. You know what I mean?
Paltrow's company that sells just fucking lies. Well, it's something to be discussed professional. Yeah, I wish that it wasn't so expensive to get an autism test. $1,000 to $2,000. Fuck you, Cam. Fuck you, Cam.
He can't yell too loud because he's living at somebody else's house in the upstairs area, so he has to do that like whisper, "Fuck you, fuck you." Oh my god, you're such a piece of shit, bro.
You are fucking blocked, Cam. Fuck you. Calling me a liar? Fuck you. Time out. Time out, you fucking asshole. Accuse me of being a fucking liar? Kiss my ass, Cam. Seriously, fuck you for that. I've looked it up before, Joey. I have looked it up before. And found that, there were definitely elements of it. Because being accused of fucking lying? No, fuck that. Therapist I had previously told me that it cost like $2,000. And I just looked it up. And like without insurance, it's $1,000 to $2,000.
I'll save you money. You're a spurg. You're a fucking retard. There, you can put it down somewhere on like a certificate. Certified fucking retard.
Yeah, pulling like, oh, no therapist would never say that. Fuck you. I did have a therapist who said that. Fucker. No therapist would say this thing that one absolutely 100 fucking % said to me. Fuck off with that noise. Accuse me of being a fucking liar. Fuck you. Stoddard said a full psychological assessment may cost up to $2,500. Balatske, who has health coverage through her employer, still had to pay $1,500 out of fucking pocket. A fucking year ago. Article from 1 year ago about a woman who paid $1,500 out of pocket despite having health coverage through her employer. But no, absolutely, you don't have to pay. Oh, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. Fuck you, Cam. Fuck off. Fuck anyone who's like, oh, you don't have to pay for it. Yes, you fucking do.
I think it bothers him.
You absolutely have to pay for it.
How like utterly ineffectual he is at making his point. He cannot convince anyone of anything, even when he's right. Even if he's actually right, and like to get like a specialist, educate like without reason to get some kind of specialty test in Canada costs $2,000 for whatever reason. Even though I was told healthcare in Canada is completely free and socialist and based on the solution of all of the issues in the United States. Even when he's right, he can't convince anyone he's right because people just assume that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about ever. Even when it's like a personal anecdote, he just has not a clue, and that's what's like makes him hesitism fit. Meanwhile, as Pete's is now basically completely separated from Chantal for the rest of eternity, Chantal's in Kuwait having a time of her life. As you can see, she is completely happy with her decisions. She doesn't care about internet drama. She's actually published a video saying that she's quitting YouTube forever to stay on TikTok because they do a better job at preventing cyberbullies from staying on the platform. However, she cannot contain her seed and keeps going back to YouTube to see in community posts and shit. I will not read all of this because I've already talked about it before. She say that she wants to pursue a defamation case against probably a French fried girl, but besides that, she's just talking about she's lost everything. That's what she's talking about because of the cat situation. Because she decided to move to Kuwait and could not take the cats because of how prohibitively expensive it is to take the cats to Kuwait. She decided to just say, fuck it, I'm giving the cats away. Gave them away before a vet checkout, and there were many health issues that they had, like not serious ones, just like things that get taken care of by a vet, by a groomer. And now all the animal people hate her. And the hijab definitely doesn't help. So she went from someone who would like bloviate about dates and make stories up and eat greasy shit on camera to someone who is completely covered up, has to act like she's a dainty girl before her Muslim husband, never eats on camera, and got rid of her cats. So like literally every single thing that she built her channel with up and her audience has gone away, and she cannot escape the relentless bullying, and she has no career. Like she made all her money doing YouTube. Her husband sells perfume. He's a Syrian in Kuwait. He's not even a citizen of Kuwait. He's just a Syrian living there and working there. As like the majority of Kuwait's population is just immigrant and not Kuwaiti. So she's just kind of fucked. And this wall of text complaining about Islamophobia and French fried girl and all this bullshit is just her like seething. Like impotently, just like Pete's. And that's what she gets for killing Pete's children, is now she has become the Pete's. Karma has a funny way of working through the system, and it happens in ways you don't expect, huh, chat? Funny how it do be like that somehow. However, I do like Salah. I will say this. I'll balance this out. I don't want the cat ladies to feel too smug that I'm bullying Chantal. So here's Salah being a little being cute, singing the very copyrighted Happy Birthday song, just like I did for Cozy Rosie. He does not look like me. He looks like Andy Worski. Come on now. Halal Wilson. That's right.
Happy birthday, baby.
So sweet. Many cat women that hate Chantal don't have this. They don't have an Arab man to sing happy birthday to them. Ain't that sad, chat? A little bit sad, isn't it? Okay, and finally, thank God my video finished downloading. Let me just show you the video before I talk about what it is. The Shardy boys have been trolling Twitch streamers, and they have a little montage that someone has made safe for work for me to show on stream. Actually, let me reduce my audio. I really like the Twitch trolling because Twitch streamers are not like people. They don't get treated like real people. See, here's the thing. Everyone on Twitch is hoping to be the next Hassan. They want to make like $70,000 a month doing nothing, sitting in their chair. That's what they want to do. The main issue with that kind of job is that even if, number one, the number of people who reach the peak, and this is the same with like OnlyFans, the number of people who actually reach the peak versus the competition who tries is very, very small. Your odds of becoming the next Hassan are extremely small. The other thing is that you have no job security. Twitch does not give a fuck about you. YouTube does not give a fuck about you. You're not their employee. You don't have rights. You don't have benefits. You are making them money. And that's what you're there for. You're there to make them money. You're there to shuck and jive and do the work for them so that they make the money from their advertisers. And the very nanosecond that you threaten that dynamic by pissing off their advertisers, you're fucking gone. So Twitch has a hard rule, a very hard rule, that you are liable for your chat. And not just that, you are liable for everything that happens on your screen. If you broadcast anything, even if it is deliberate trolling, even if it's against your wishes, even if it's causing you mental anguish, if you violate their terms of service by broadcasting something against your will that someone has forced upon you somehow through a trolling mechanism, you are liable for it and you get banned. So knowing this, the Soy Jack Party people have decided to do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling. And here's the fruits of that effort.
So she said, what's the problem, baby? What's the problem? I don't know. Well, maybe I'm in love. Think about it every time I think about it. Can't stop thinking about it. How much longer will it take to cure this? Just to cure it, cause I can't ignore it. If it's love makes me wanna turn around and face me, but I don't know nothing about love. Come on, turn a little faster. Come on, the world will follow after. Come on, because everybody's after love. So I said I'm a snowball running down into the spring that's coming. All this love melting under blue skies, belting out sunlight, shimmering love.
We're using something worse than we're using a Chan board that's fucking whatever it's called, like fucking you're invited to a party. We're having a Jackbox party. Like, oh my god, for fuck's sake, fuck off.
That is a picture of what's covered was a picture of Nikocado Avocado's anus picture. There's another one that's filtered the same way.
Fuck off! Yeah, there you go.
Settle down inside my jump a little higher. Come on, if you feel a little lighter. Come on, we were once upon a time in love. We're accidentally in love. Accidentally in love.
The really funny thing about this, by the way, is that they played some stuff in there that didn't make sense out of context. The context is that there was a guy actively narking to Twitch streamers, the soy boys, the soy teens, I suppose they like to be called, were doing this. So they doxed them, and one of their users literally printed out pictures of their soy jack memes and shoved it through the envelope hole in his front door to indicate to him that he should stop narking on their trolling because they don't appreciate it much, which is pretty phenomenal. Nothing illegal about giving a mail, right? You're just saying a nice letter to people. So I enjoyed that. By the way, this is after nothing. This was also in the thread. I'll play this. This is funny.
Post office.
This is a guy. He's opening Christmas
this
presents.
one has the fancy gold package.
I love Christmas presents in my P.O. box from my fans on Twitch. Oh boy, a letter.
Hey, what the fuck? Fucking cocksucker! You fucking cocksucker! Fucking pussy bitch! Fucking cocksucker! Fucking cocksucker! Fucking cocksucker!
Nice to see Walmart sent.
Merry fucking Christmas, dudes! My God!
Just amazing. I love that so much. I love that there is a word. It's like a literal curse word. It's a word of power. It brings a man to scream at the top of his lungs and drop to his knees and start swearing as if he's been electrocuted, as if he's literally been shocked by like a cattle stun prod or something, and he's in pain. It's just a magic thing. I think that's it for like the locale stuff. Besides Ralph, of course. Yeah, I feel like I should mention I was supposed to show up on Ricada's stream, which last night for Americans, very early morning for me. It would be at 6 a.m. my time. I've done it before, or I can get up early. It's okay. I'll just drink coffee, and we're going to talk about Ralph's legal stuff. Apparently, he was sick, and I got up at like 5:15 and saw that I missed a message from him on Signal by 45 minutes. So he sent it to me at like 4:30 a.m. my time. And he just said, "Sorry, I'm sick. We have to cancel the show today." So I got fucking nosed, okay? I got baldoed pretty hard. But to be honest, I was a little bit glad because I have so much to do today and I had to stream today and shit. I was like, okay, I can go back to sleep. That's okay. So for all those people who enjoy clipping every time I mention Ricada because you would desperately love for us to start shooting each other, here you go. There's your clip for this stream. Okay, and then the Ralph stuff. It gives me time to catch up on Ralph's legal drama too. I don't fully understand it. So Ralph starts off pretty strong this stream. He was following a transgender homosexual Spanish man who draws hentai for a living. Pretty interesting. He also wanted to lash out against something I said last stream. I posted a picture of Cozy with what appear to be bruises on her arm. They seem to very similarly follow a pattern of if you picked a kid up by the arm and just pulled her up like that, it would leave those kind of bruises. And people on the forum also said that they're very similar to, very indicative of vertical left bruising. He denies this. He says, these people get more disgusting by the day. No, they're bug bites. We live in the tropics, moron. You can clearly see that earlier in the video. This is how some scum like Josh Moon or Potter, pervert, whatever he's calling themselves these days. But that's how he gets his lies like this started. I don't have to lie about your daddy abandoning you because you were an autistic burden. That really happened. To remind people, this is the close-up. I guess they could be bug bites. I like if this is like evidence at a murder trial, I wouldn't sentence Ethan Ralph to the electric chair off this alone. Because the image quality is so shitty, but I don't know. Some people said that it could be mosquitoes because mosquitoes are so aggressive in Mexico, but I don't know. They really don't look like. As someone who got I got bug bites bad as a kid. I still have scars on my arms and legs. They're very faded by now, but I had a lot of scars on my arms and legs as a kid to the point where people thought I had chicken pox all the time because I had really, really bad mosquito bites on my arms and legs. But I don't know. I don't think that's what it looked like. I could be wrong, but that's how it do be. Weak genes. No, I just have tasty blood. Thank you very much. He clarifies that in his world, not dying every day is the how you win, how you stay winning. So he again retweets this saying, "When I figured this out, my mind shattered. When he figured out that being alive is winning, his mind shattered. He could not." This was a revelation to him. He didn't know what to do with this information. That's where the bar is set. We have to, in order for the A-Logs to declare total victory, Ethan Ralph must die, apparently. He's ranting about Harry Morris. I think that Harry Morris has kind of not been doing anything, which is smart. But Kino Casino did something. He says, "Hey, Harry Morris, was cool to see your favorite show, Kino Casino, call your own daughter a child abuser last night and lob around complete and obvious lies to try and smear us. You're actually lower than them. That's the thing. You and your whole family, for not immediately denouncing, are actually lower than slanderer and even lower than a baby killer." Sounds drunk in this. This is definitely a drunk tweet. It's fucking incoherent. So I don't know what the Kino Casino said to trigger the spurg out, but it apparently got to him. I guess because of the bug bites, right? That's probably what they were talking about. So Ralph is trying to arrange a wrestling event, like another one. He has this guy called Ali Jamal, and Ali's parents are like gypsy and rich, so they have like this gaudy fucking McMansion that looks like an old castle, but it's just like a shitty McMansion. And his parents are super rich, so he has somehow convinced his mom to let Ethan Ralph host an event for $400 a ticket at his house in their McMansion. They're packy, okay, whatever. And Ali Jamal being severely autistic. And I think this is one of the instances where the dad is like very old, but the mom is younger. And statistically, when there's like a huge age gap between father and mother, that's when autism is at its highest. So he's like an actual spurg. Ethan Ralph sends him out to the streets to be his field reporter. And he ends up actually there. And I'll play a couple of these clips.
My streak on Cozy is like 4.
The guy that sounds retarded, that's Ali Jamal. That's the retarded man that Ethan Ralph is trying to take advantage of.
Over 450 plus.
Nice.
That's how loyal I am to the movement. That's how much I use Cozy. It is so much fun.
Based.
Yeah, like it is insane, bro. Like it is crazy.
You're Catholic, right?
I wish.
You wish? What do you mean?
Are you? I'm not right now. I'm non-denom.
Oh, you should convert. You have a lot of Catholic teachings.
I have friends who are Catholic.
This guy is trying to like talk to him, and I think he kind of realizes that Ali Jamal is like a retard. Hey, look, there's a gay flag over there. This must be like a counter protest.
What did he say? What? I can't hear that. What did he say?
I don't know.
I can't hear her.
Spaganese.
Jesus.
But we love Nick here on the channel. We love Nick.
We love Nick.
We love everybody. But I'm gonna pray for these people.
He sounds like me when I do like a retard voice. I love Nick. I love Nick. I love everybody. I love everybody. I bet you if he's from Pakistan, I bet you he can't do like the trad LARP Catholic thing because his parents are Muslim and they would cut him off if he suddenly converted to Christianity to appease Nick Fuentes. One soul saved, boys. One soul saved for Nick Fuentes. I want to see the part where he gets beat up by Antifa.
Don't mind me, I'm using the sidewalk.
Wait,
come on.
Is that how Antifa dresses in the U.S.? They walk around in full like military gear with their face covered in black umbrellas and like obstruct people. Is this really what they do in the U.S. now? Really? And the government's just okay with this? They're just okay with this shit? Okay.
I mean, I don't have to.
It's a public site?
Oh no. He's dead. I really needed the Dark Souls "You Are Dead" thing in that black space. Wow, his phone's broken. There's our hero.
I should have gone in the case for this. I'm sorry. Chat.
Oh, it must be shattered. Oh, poor
The
Allie.
screen is half broken.
They broke a retard's phone. Follow Sam Hyde's advice in regards to these protests. Do not go to them. They are traps. You will accomplish nothing going to these fucking things besides ruining. You will catch a felony and fuck up your whole life for no reason. Poor Allie getting sent to this shit by fucking Ethan Ralph. What's this? I want to see this one. Hello, website. Can you barely function, please? I can't wait. I cannot wait to get the infrastructure set up. I'm so close.
I really love these people. I don't want to hate.
I might not get this one. I had to preload the other ones. I think the site's so busy right now that the attachment server is shitting itself. We love these people. That's right.
I really love these people. I don't want to hate on them. I'm following what Nick says, but after that behavior, these people.
I guess we won't get to hear this one. I apologize. I do have these other clips preloaded though, so we'll be good to go. Ralph published what he calls the Killstream movie. The Killstream movie. The Killstream movie has received 1,700 views. It is 2 hours of his holiday footage. First, he creeps around on the beach, filming women without their consent, showing off Amanda's horrific body. And then they go to, there's just video of them talking in Italy, and then eating dinner, and then sitting on an airplane, and then eating again, and sitting, and laying down, and then walking through a mall, and then sitting in a car, and then they get married. This part's pretty funny because they kiss and the baby's screaming. Assuming that, is Rumble also going to boofer for me? It might. Look at this chat. Look, it's not just my site. It's not just my site that's shit, chat. Come on now. It's also Rumble that that's shit. Yeah, I guess it just doesn't want to work at all. You have to take my word. And then they eat some more, and they walk around some more. And then they're in the hotel sitting down. And then there's the wrestling event. And then there's Corinne, I think, reading a book to the baby. And then they eat some more. And then he includes you can tell it's a screenshot from me saying that Amanda would probably leave him, because I did think that maybe she was smart enough to get the fuck out at some point. But that didn't happen. She's retarded and deserves to suffer. Here, what this video did show, by the way, is some excellent side-by-sides of him next to May, showing that she's like a full head taller than him. You can kind of see the lines. This is them literally shoulder to shoulder. And you can see just how much shorter and fatter he is than her, which is really embarrassing. Then there's this, which I consider to be the best part of the entire quote-unquote movie. You ready?
What a baby.
god. What? Oh my god. I had it Kino. I had it Kino and then you stopped buffering. How can you do this to me? I can't even fucking believe it. Piece of shit. Felted. Completely felted. I'm actually super pissed off. We're redoing it. Fuck off. Restart the video. Don't you interrupt me.
What a baby.
He just gets up and leaves. By the way, this is not like an edit that I did. That's actually, he just included that in the video, which is phenomenal. Thank you, Ralph. And one more. It's time to beat a dead horse. Dun, dun. Gotta do my jingle until I get the Fiverr guy. Here's May being respected as an individual, an intellectual, and a co-equal in their marriage.
And also, I just simply think that I deserve respect. Like, if I make a decision about who I want to be with, that it should be respected. Like, and if somebody doesn't like it, they can do what they want with that. But it doesn't, you know, I still deserve respect. I feel like we're a good couple, and I feel like we both brought a lot of positivity into each other's lives. Like,
Suffer horse. She also got implants at some point. You can tell because they looked like they were starting to sag a bit. Like, even though she doesn't have much, they were starting to sag at some point in the video, and then they look fake at some other point. So at some point, Ethan Ralph took his Power Chat money and said, "Go to some Tijuana doctor and get that shit fixed, and don't come back till it's fucking fixed." You heard? And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And she did that, I guess. It could be a push-up. I'm gonna go. The surgery is funnier to me because it means more horse suffering. It's not like she breastfeeds anyways, so it's okay. And with that, actually, because there's not much has happened with Ralph. About 1 hour. This is going to be a shorter stream. I feel bad. Everyone's so used to 3 hour long streams now. If I start doing the donations early. Okay, you got 15 minutes, chat. Did I miss anything? Josh can save it. Yeah, fucking right. Not even if I was paid. Don't worry, there's 3 hours of super chats. What happened in Kentucky? No, 2 is enough. Okay, fine. You said there was too much that happened. Oh, I went through it. I went through it really fast. I don't know who Richard Golden is. Pooners. I talked about Pooners. Pretty good stream, to be honest. Okay, fine. No, she's just very ugly. She's not like a tranny. She was a tranny, but she didn't do anything. Medicare Fimbot. Medicare Fimbot supposedly is a man pretending to be a couple so that she can revive Medicare's corpse and make a forum out of it. Milo going off on Nick. Oh, from what I remember, Milo... I don't have that clip. I didn't hear about that. I heard that Milo was picking a fight with the other guy that was a campaign financier. I didn't hear anything about him shit-talking Nick Fuentes, though. Okay. Sam Hyde looking at Anisa's nudes. I can't play that. I'm sorry, but like I know that it's like a joke with Sam Hyde to eat like a fucking animal into the microphone for every single fucking recording that he does. But that's why I canceled my Gumroad with him. Like you're eating into the fucking microphone. I can't even listen to the shit that I want to listen to because you don't give a you think it's funny to piss off your own fans by eating like a fucking animal. Somebody tell Nick Rochefort, the guy who's actually intelligent, to put down the fucking food when you're recording your fucking podcast. Because otherwise, I'm not going to support it. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to super chat to it. I'm not going to listen to that Bic Lighter dude hype up your fucking streams. Stop eating for an hour to do something that you're getting paid for. Is that really hard? Like, I understand that it's some kind of like meta joke intentionally designed to piss people off. Well, it fucking works. So enjoy. Like, for real. So no, I'm not going to play Sam Hyde reacting to Anisa's nudes. It's out there somewhere if you can stand hearing a man eat into the microphone for 45 fucking minutes straight. Lilith Lovett coping. Okay, that's funny. Is that on Twitter? Twitter.com Lilith Lovett. I don't know what his name is on Twitter. Kiwi Farm. Let me just search name Kiwi Farms. Francesco Eugenio Fasce. Ho ho. Show me the season. Going to the last page. I better be there. Hello. Sorry, I will fix the fucking site this week. I'm waiting on it. Freak is going full defense force on the Nashville shooter, calling everyone a bigot for misgendering and dead naming her. I seriously want TTD. This is unacceptable. Well, if my site would load, perhaps I will see what is so unacceptable, chat. Okay, this is Lilith Lovett. This is Count Dankula's personal tranny friend. Also has met Adam from YMS in real life. Saying, seriously though, it's so gross how fast people will immediately use tragedies for their agenda against groups they don't like. Just a complete lack of humanity all around. Well, it's not pissing off about, I mean, listen, I'm saying that they have a invested interest and no TTD. Because if TTD happens, if Tucker Carlson gives the word on national television and says that this is his final broadcast and everyone knows what they got to do, go, 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 that means no Lila Lovett anymore, okay? Because he knows that there's no such thing as one of the good ones. You could just pretend to be base so that the gay conservatives can secretly try to pound your boy pussy. And everyone will just be okay with that for whatever reason. Woman shit. Lilith is not a woman. Blair White BTFO'd, yeah. I don't like Blair White. And I mean, at least Blair White is more honest about how unattractive the surgery is. Lilith is less honest about that. Anyone named Lilith is a turn. Okay, I won't drag this out forever. Talking about random shit. You know how it do be like that sometimes. I will just go to show mode, I guess, so that I don't have to drag every stream out to be 4 hours. Do I have a special song picked out? I have a decent song picked out. Oh fuck! I forgot. Okay. Wait. Hold up, chat. I forgot to do a joke earlier in the stream. I knew that I had forgotten something, but I forgot what it was. Okay, listen. I'm gonna go back in time. Right. We're gonna go back to this when I was talking about this. And I'm going to say, like, okay, as far as the Internet Archive goes, you know what they say.
If you get raped by a pack of niggers, it'll be your fault.
Okay, I have now used that clip. We can continue into the Super Chat section. Thank you. All right, recent donations. Sort by newest. Oh, even this site's slow today. I cannot catch a fucking break. From Saturday to now. Okay. Richard Low-Tax Kayanka's Ghost for $20 says, ooh, Jersh, my spirit cannot rest. You must do the person stream on me that you've been promising for literally years. Until you do, I will curse all the pies you eat to taste like opiate pills, including the pizza pies. It's on my to-do list. Listen, boy, I got some shit to take care of. I will never forget. One day I'll revisit the grave. I will literally, physically, in person, visit the grave of Richard Low-Tax Kayanka for my first in-person, in real life, Man at the Internet stream, okay? I'll make it up for you. The Hawaii Inquisition for 2 says, we're on record saying that you find Candace Owens attractive. Do you still maintain it? I said that she was the nicest looking monkey I ever did see, which is extremely racist. I did not say that she was attractive. Come on now, give me a break. The Pope Urban for 10 says, are these archives of your very first streams anywhere? I've gone through the entire archive I can find so far. Also, Longshot, have you considered using American Indian and American Indian Territory for your mail needs? They are immune from some lawsuits. I'm not afraid of lawsuits. I can't find anyone to take my mail, and the people who offer are in states that I don't want to incorporate in. I have to find someone in a state that's either South Dakota or Wyoming, ideally, that is willing to accept being swatted and visited by trannies and threatened for no financial recompense, and who I can actually trust with my mail. The list of people, or very little financial recompense. And it's like the list of people willing to do that, who in addition can be trusted with my mail for the company, is very limited. So if you know an Indian willing to do that, maybe he can. But I don't even know how LLC incorporation works with Indians. I don't know if they can, if they live in the nations of Cherokee or whatever. Pope Urban for 4 says, I'm in Serbia a couple days. Any recommendations? Go to the AK-47 shooting range and visit the Castle Belgrade, and try Pleskavica. It's like a hamburger, but it's stuffed with spicy goat cheese. It's very good. Kosovo at Serbia for 2 says, my brother and I are planning a Balkan erotic epic genocide tour, and we're going to stop in Serbia. There are some places we should visit while we are there. We're looking into the Skull Tower of Niz and Krupia, Spring, rec food, and bars too, and no-go zones. Man, same answer. Visit all the sites. There's tons and tons of Orthodox churches if you're interested in that. There's one range where you can shoot a fully automatic AK-47. I would suggest that, and I would suggest eating all the different burgers and sausages. Ghost of Vote Serbia again for 2 says, I'm also looking for other areas in the Balkans outside of Greece or Bulgaria that would be good with fringe war areas, empire history to soothe our autism. Also, come grab a drink and food with us while we're there. We will pay you as much as you want. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. As far as like touring the Balkans, go to Sarajevo. I can't pronounce that. Sorry. I'm really bad at pronouncing shit. The capital of Bosnia, because it was a siege, is one of the most famous sieges in modern history. And I'm sure there's tons of shit that's still fucked up in Bosnia that you can go see. This is a shithole. Anonymous for 10 says, hey, Jersh and chat, alternate history timeline. What would things be like if you were black? I would be black, and that would suck. What if you were born Jushan Connor Mbungi and it was called Cotton Farms? Alternatively, what if you were born an Asian Jing Chong Ming who owns the dog farms? I guess I would be dead if I was Asian. And if I was black, I don't know. I feel like if I was black or a woman, I could get away with more shit than I do. But then I would be black or a woman, and I would prefer not to be. Thank you. Romeo for 2 says, dear leader, do I have your permission in pinging you if I draw a picture of comic of you in the Art for Null thread? Thanks for the stream, your grace. Yeah, you can ping me. I'm subscribed to that thread. If you post on that, I'll get a notification for it. No problem. Men holding their pregnant bellies for 25 says, rough week, appreciate you. Here's something you might appreciate. Read it now or whenever. And this is a Bible Gateway verse, and it says, for thus says the Lord, your affliction is incurable, your wound is severe, there is no one to plead your cause, that you may be bound up, and you have no healing medicines. All your lovers have forgotten you, they do not seek you, for I have wounded you with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of your inequities, because your sins have increased. Why do you cry about your affliction? Your sorrow is incurable. Because of the multitude of your inequities, because your sins have increased, I have done these things to you. Jeez Louise, don't piss off God, because he will fucking cyberbully you. He will fuck you over, and then he will write it into the Bible, and you'll be cyberbullied for all eternity. Thank you. I hope your week goes better, my friend. And Forgetful Kiwi for 4 says, happy Transgender Day of Visibility. No, come on now. Today? It is today. Happy Transgender Day Visibility. Oh my God. I should feature a random thread on the Kiwi Farms. Maybe multiple threads. Fuck it. Post in the Maddie thread what tranny threads I should feature. I'll give them some visibility. Give me your best ones, your most favorite ones. Thank you. Tanuki Appreciator for 2 says, praying I'm the first one to send this one in. Twitter.com fake cell culture status. That's pretty good. I'll just throw it up on Firefox. This is like a reference to like a really weird Altura video game, I think, if I remember correctly. They do look like that. That's really flattering for Oniza, though. I gotta be honest with you. Let me sit on your face, Joshua5 says, coming at you from my third world country, Guatemala. We'll have to catch up when I get home, but here's some monies that one hope of sitting on your face. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope Guatemala is treating you well, my friend. Great Loner for 5 says, TTD, Transmesiacs, rise up. Rise TF up, my dudes. It's time. Our time is now. Adolf the Baker for 10 says, I need help with a math problem. I have to bake 6 million bagels in the next 5 years with a baking time of 2 to 3 hours each. But I also only have 45 ovens, and only one oven fits one bagel at a time. I did the math, but it just doesn't work out. What can I do? Well, if you put like a little frying, like a fry thing, deep fryer, and then you put all the bagels on like some kind of, Lego or one of those, those trains that sit on wooden rails that you can put together as kids. If you make a big loop-de-loop out of that and just send all the bagels down the ramp and into the fryer, that might help. You gotta increase your methodology here. You can't just, if you have a limited number of ovens, that doesn't mean that you can just sit on your hands the entire time and not make those bagels, my dude. Thank you. Marfan4 says, I'm addicted to huffing doo-doo fumes in the hustle and bustle of the big city. A lot of people are. A lot of people just love the smell of shit and sitting in a bus stop that reeks of piss that homeless people will literally just squat down next to you and take a shit next to you in public in the train station. Because cars are just obsolete in the big city, in the hustle and bustle of the big city, and everyone should move to the big city and get rid of cars. Anonymous for 2 says, Josh, I can't believe I bought Bat because of you. My blood is on your hands. Die null nigh. I never told anyone to buy a basic attention token. I do not give financial advice. I don't know what you're talking about. David S877 for 25 says, here's to a better April. March went pretty good. For me, at least. I hope it went well for you, too. I hope April, fuck it. I hope April's better. I hope shit just keeps getting better. Thank you. Jake Sneed for 2 says, hey, Josh, I jumped out of college this week. I have a degree in marketing, but no idea what to do. Any tips? 22-year-old Dutch. You have a degree in marketing, but you dropped out of college? Were you pursuing like a higher degree, like a bachelor's in marketing? I don't know. Marketing sucks. Do literally anything. What do you like? That's a hard one to answer. I don't know anything about you. What do you like to do, dude? Just do that. People generally say that you should have a profitable hobby that makes you money and one that you actually enjoy and don't make money with. That's how you balance a life. 0 for 545 says, Special Agent Baked Alaska. My boy getting that 60 days in jail, club fed vacation for doing a great job filming everybody and helping hundreds of people go to jail. Slunyavaya Shavka for 2 says, hey Josh, I wanted to watch your Gumroad videos, but I got cucked by sanctioned payment processors. Would it be possible to get a link to the videos if I gave $3 using donation alerts? Cheers. I guess I can go make all the old Gumroad videos public now. They're on archive channels and stuff. I only asked that the archive channels wait a week, but I haven't backported the recent ones out too. I guess I should mute my system alert, shouldn't I? I haven't backported the other ones out. Spine for 10 says, Godspeed, my dude. Thanks for weaponizing your ODD for something great. Also, good job, Ruben Sim. Restored the Big Iron State to its former glory. What's the Big Iron State? Is that West Virginia? West Virginia did coal. Let's see. I'm curious. If I search Big Iron, I just get auctions. Pennsylvania. That sounds familiar. I think it's Pennsylvania. Or Texas. I don't know. Good job. Whatever. Good luck, Ruben. To restore. Wait, is that Arizona? Did I say Arizona? Is that the Big Iron State? Because they're the Wild West. That makes sense to me. Thank you, though. Marina VT for 30 says, to the VTuber Kiwis who watched Pikami's graduation a few hours ago, remember what they took from you and remember what they'll try to take next. That's true. Pikami, the VTuber that caused TTD in the anime community just a couple weeks ago, did her retirement or graduation stream just a couple hours ago. I listened to it for a little bit, and I don't know, I tuned out really fast. She was speaking Japanese, some ping pong ding dong shit that I didn't understand. She said something about like how she regrets trying to make people happy. She said I should never have like tried to make everybody happy. I should have just done whatever I wanted to begin with, which is pretty base, I guess. True words. Don't even try. Burger Mutt for 2 says, I think I have an interesting take on abortion based on the idea that our brain, personalities, and even politics are inherently largely based on politics, and that is never interrupt your opponent while he is making the middle of making a mistake. Sinzu. Yeah, I've said this before. I think that this is just modern day Darwinism. Retard people who have weak impulse control, who have addicted personalities, are being genocided by nature. In a modern day liberalism, where you have access to everything that you could ever want anytime you want it for cheap. If you have poor impulse control, if you get easily addicted to gambling, to food, to pornography, to alcohol, to hard drugs, if you are one of those people, you are being erased from the face of the planet right now. I think that people don't focus, like, look at the opium addiction on top of everything else. It's just, if you have an addicted personality, you are being destroyed. And if you are the type of person to, have casual sex and get pregnant or impregnate people, then there's abortion, so you don't reproduce. So if you're the kind of person who has low impulse control and poor family building skills, you are being genocided. You want to talk about an actual genocide? That is the type of demographic that is being removed from the world population right now, at least in the West. In Africa and other places, not so much, but definitely in the West. And even when foreigners come from other places to the United States, they get assimilated into the culture, at least insofar as that, where they're victims to the same, neoliberalism stuff and access to whatever they want whenever they want it too. So that's my big white pills. I really feel like these old fucks in government are going to die soon. They're getting old. It's just going to happen. One day they're going to be gone. And then I'll probably be 40 by then, but that's okay. And then I'll be, the core demographic for America. And hopefully by then all my shit will be together, or at least a little bit more together. And we can start shaping the world a little bit more to how we know it should be. And this generation will have suffered immense casualties in the retard department, as people are succumb to their own vices, and the next generations will be much more oriented towards long-term thinking. I don't want to talk about China right now. I was going to say something about China, but I'll save it for later. You got way too much for $2, my boy. You got some deep philosophy and shit. Ganker for 2 says, it's called roid rage. Also, the mainstream media is calling her a female, even though she was a trans-identifying female. It is better being a woman gets you more bonus points on the social justice ladder than being a man. Unrelated but funny, I got a speeding ticket. The cop called me Josh. Why is that funny? The cop got your name wrong and called you Josh? And that's funny because it's my name? Stop speeding. You're going to run over a cat. It's not good. Behave yourself. Stop being a wigger. Alex for 1087 says, hi Josh, it's my birthday. I'm 31. 31 on the 31st. That's interesting. That'll only happen once in your life, my boy. Only once in your life. You better enjoy it. The numberology going on. Thanks for making the most entertaining podcast on the internet, and always the uppercase I internet, and always sticking to your principles. One thing I'm curious about is, what is the origin of how you say dox? It almost sounds like deox. Cheers. I started making fun of how Tumblrites way back when would say toxic. Oh, you're so toxic. And then I realized that I could apply that to tox because they whine about it the same way. Oh, you're toxic and you're toxing. And I've just continued to do that because I find it funny. Happy birthday. Thank you. Leopold 3 for 5 says, to be honest, the reason the media kept calling the Nashville shooter a woman was to hide the fact she is trans for the people who aren't engaged in events like these in the past. Except they are pointing out that she's trans too. Even like CNN, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it could be that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they pointed out that she's trans. 5-star Ace for 350 says, the mouse utopia experiment. In short, animals provided with everything in static space turn to over-socialized degenerates, cannibalize each other out of stress, and eventually just lay down and die because there's nothing left to live for. Yes, I've heard of that. That's very hotly debated, though. I don't think that they've reproduced it. I don't think it's ethical to reproduce. But yeah, over-socialization is a genius word that Dr. Theodore Kaczynski coined. And it really makes sense when you see these people like, oh, you're over-socialized. Just right on the point. Rungle, parentheses, Pit Daddy, vile, for 543 says, can you wish a speedy recovery to my friend Billy? He got bit by a sweet pit bully because he emitted negative energy, and Sir Poopsykins the Third didn't really appreciate it. Thank you, and curb stomp trannies into the ground. I do wish a speedy recovery to your friend Billy, and I'm so sorry to hear that you had to put Poopsykin the Third down for being a violent monster animal and Negro dog. A melanated dog. Blue Eyes Chaos Max for 6 says, thank you for your work. Thank you very much. Oh, Chaos Max Dragon is rather. Thank you. Mentally Ill for 5 says, you fucking swine, I piss on you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Jim's Top Grimmer for 2 says, do you think Bill S686 will actually pass and become the new age Patriot Act, or is it just a ploy? I think it's some bullshit, and it probably won't pass. It happens sometimes that legislation gets introduced, and it's so bad that it sends the internet into a tizzy, and then everyone involved just slowly backs away. It happens all the time. It's always good to figure out who your enemies are, though. Like I said, the reason why I pointed out the co-sponsors is not because I thought that the bill would pass, but rather you should know, if you live in those states, which of your senators are fucking retarded and should be replaced at the next earliest possible convenience by someone younger and more competent and less fucking stupid. Fatty Caddies in Incel Jew for 1087 says, hey Josh, I've been watching your streams for a few years now. I love your Substack articles and the narrative posts you do occasionally. Honest question, have you considered writing a book? Here's something for your future gym membership. Cheers, Godspeed. Yes, I have. Writing a book takes time. I've gotten offers to like ghostwrite and shit, but I'll just wait. I'll wait till things calm down a little bit, and then maybe like at a certain point when everything is hopefully, if things ever get calm, I'll reflect on the last 10 years and write about that. Writing now feels a little bit premature, to be honest. It's like AVGN writing his autobiography. Like, you're 30 something. is your life really at a point where you can write an autobiographical account of it? 5-star Ace for 250 says, to follow up my donor before, as the true shit just keeps going, remember that life is literally just what you do. It's not what you are. It's not what you are and not what you have. Okay, Tyler Darden. But yes, that's true. I always say it's like the Serenity Prayer. The Serenity Prayer is very good. Always focus on what you actually can affect and stop focusing on things that you have no control over. When you focus on things you have no control over, you feel helpless and you become sad and moody and pissy and not nice to be around. Raw God for 10 says, forgive me, Josh, for I was late. I turned in at 1, was an hour late. Did I miss anything super funny? No. What, in the first hour? I mean, the Troon stuff, basically. That's what I talked about. News. Daylight saving time is synced, so we're back on noon time for the Merrimuts. Taft PI for 1087 says, finally finished my degree. No idea what the fuck I'm supposed to do next. I'm sharing some of the joy with that. Putting Maddie on in the background made data analysis more bearable. P.S. Is 7076 hosting ever coming back? I probably will never do hosting again in the VPS sense. However, I will try to offer some, like, whatever technical assistance I can to any site that is threatened, if it ever comes to it, because I would love to make more money. But the number of sites that I specifically would need to help host and would actually want to host is basically 0 right now. Maybe that will change in the future, though. Who knows? I know another guy that does data analyst, and he makes a good amount of money, so congrats. SGT Wizard Fist for 5 says, the funniest part of this drama is iDubbbz must either have alerts for Sam Hyde saying anything because he immediately messaged Froggy Fresh to question him about Sam. Froggy also recently brought up that Anisa and Chris Ray gun all over each other in real life. Either people told him, or he just reads the Kiwi Farms. And that guy I mentioned, that interview on Twitter where Sam Hyde, Keemstar, and Oreo were talking, and some fucking schmuck from their wrestling event joins to talk and defend it. He says, like, he accuses Froggy Fresh of doxing Anisa's mother. And I didn't even mention this, I forgot. Anisa's mother was insulting Froggy Fresh on Twitter. Her mother was. And when he pointed out that this was her mother, this fat Shlomo, whatever the fuck he is, comes out and says that he doxed her because he identified that it was Anisa's mother's Twitter account. Even though if you Google that Twitter account, you will find articles written about how Anisa's mother uses that Twitter account and how she supports Anisa through like her OnlyFans and shit. So if you just Google that handle, you'll find out that it's Anisa's mother. But that idiot says, I don't know how you found out about her docs, but you must be visiting some real dark places on the internet. And he kept saying this, you must be visiting some real dark places on the internet. I wonder what dark, creepy, dank, suspicious corners of the internet he's talking about. What would Anisa and iDubbbz be talking about with this guy and telling him that Froggy Fresh must be using to dox Anisa's mother? Very curious. No way to know for sure, though. Waddle D for 2 says, hey Josh, it's happening to me. I was playing Resident Evil 4 when suddenly my monitors both turned off and I had to reset my computer. This is just after I resolved my unending BSODs by changing the fucking Windows power settings. I hate computers. Reseat your memory. If you change your memory, I think I added more RAM and I fucked up somehow when I did that. Catboy Ranch Dressing for 2 says, thanks for sharing the Shardy Twitch raid compilation. Unironically, my favorite video on the site. Watched it at least 20 hours or 20 times in the span of an hour and shared it with everyone I could. Using a bot to put Nikocato's asshole on the Jackbox draw streams was genius. There are several. They do that with the fuck it, I forgot the name. I played it on the video game streams before, Wordle or whatever. There's lots of tools like that are pretty funny. And also in Minecraft, using cotton bricks and shit. Fred for 10 says, weekly fur neighbor tax. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Rent Us the Sound of Music for 543 says, hi Josh, you mentioned that you wasted your time reading Avila a few weeks ago. You really should read The Forest Passage by Ernst Junge instead. I don't know what that's about. You did a poor job selling me on this. I've never even heard of Ernst Junge, sorry. Green 1997 Toyota T100 SR5 4x4 for 5 says, I was going through old Ralph clips and it's insane to me how much Ralph has changed. Not only his voice changed, but his personality is completely different. Ralph seemed like he could take jokes and jabs and respond without spurging. What drugs do to a motherfucker? I mean, what, losing your entire life and everything that you've ever worked for over the span of a couple of years does to a motherfucker too. Mosquito Chad for 4 says, how do you like the ever so delicious Moon a la Rogue? I enjoyed it aged at the very ripe 10 years. I am running low, however, so I may need to go back to my main supply. I will see you soon, Joshua Moon. Mosquito emoji. Thank you very much. Pigeon for 217 says, if anyone fits their definition of Nazi the most, it's definitely Antifa, ironically enough. Sad that this Antifa retard extends us to the US. They're not Nazis. National Socialism is a blend of nationalism and socialism. You have to say, I live in a country. This country is the best country on earth. This country is a home to a specific demographic of people. And because this country represents this people, it therefore must take care of them. It must provide them opportunity. It must provide them education. It should take care of their healthcare needs when available. And it should be a symbiotic relationship. The people put in work to support the state, and then the state sort of equalizes things to make sure that people have opportunities to rise within the society. That is what National Socialism is. Antifa is the opposite of that. Antifa is simply authoritarian, totalitarian socialism, where equity is important. There is no rising above. It's everyone should be completely congruent to each other, not equal, congruent. Everybody is exactly the same. And if you have more, you get it taken away from you and given to somebody else. And if you challenge that there may be inequities between people, if you say this group of people is different from me, then you're a bad person. You're a bad communist and you don't get to participate in society. In fact, we'll probably kill you. You can't just say they're bad men. They're bad men. They do bad things. They follow bad man with the mustache bad man, the most baddest of all the bad men. So therefore, everyone I don't like is bad, and therefore they are a bad man, and they probably have a bad mustache man. It really infuriates me because it is a real thing. There were really people called National Socialists. They were not called Nazis in their time, except by the Allies who were shooting at them. They were the Wehrmacht. They were the army for the German Empire. And they had a philosophy. At least the politicians did. The average German didn't know a fucking thing. He was just there because someone told him he had to be, for the most part. It's very frustrating. But yes, they are very authoritarian. Ice Mexican for 10 says, hello, Mr. Potter. I asked Sam Hyde on Monday if he would like to collab with you. He said that he was down for it. Maybe you two could have an interesting conversation, provided you're not a turbo autist like in your last combo with Jim. I thought the conversation with Jim was really good. I don't know what you're talking about. Sam Hyde said that he would like to collab with me on his next attack. I will perhaps talk to him. However, if he starts eating at any point, I will say this first thing. If you start eating at any point in this conversation, I am fucking gone. I'm not even going to say goodbye. If I hear a chomp, a munch, a schlop, if I see you start peeling a piece of gum, I'm fucking out. You'll never see me again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Sam Hyde. Sorry to radiate you with my toxicity and my radioactiveness, but I'm gone now. Anonymous for 2173 says, total tranny death. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Phimosis Jones for 10 says, Josh, what piece of art, music, or cinema has made you cry recently? Also, please play this quick video. You've asked me this before, I'm pretty sure. I couldn't think of it. Definitely wasn't The Whale. What is this? Okay, this is... It's Walter White screaming. This better not be some gay shit. Let me check. How many views this got? 9. Okay, it's safe.
Holy mother of God!
I don't understand. I've never watched Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad has never appealed to me as a series. I can't stand the cunt wife. I tried to watch it. I got to like season 2, episode 2. I cannot stand this bitch anymore. I'm so sick of the fucking drama between them. And I just stopped watching. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. And it's not even like, you know me, I'm not like the biggest misogynist on the fucking planet. It's just that character is the most one-dimensional dimension bitch ever. Just designed to be as insufferable as possible. Like, how am I supposed to care that Walter White is betraying his family and his wife by doing this drug empire shit when she's such a cunt in every way? How am I supposed to care about that dynamic when if I was him and I was married to such a stupid cunt, an unsufferable person, I would just leave with my drug money and do something else with my life? Come on now. Jeez, I honestly I couldn't stand to watch it. Frog God for 4 says, do not fear, Josh. We will defeat any mosquitoes that attempt to steal your blood. Frog Gang is looking out for you. Oh, thank you, Frog Gang. I appreciate it. Oh no, Mosquito Chad also replies and says, no, curse you, Dan Frogs. Now we'll not be able to drink the yummy moon a la rose aged by 10 years. Ack. Thank you. Okay, I don't like mosquitoes. That's why I can't live any place humid. I fucking hate them. My friend's house in Florida had like a big ditch in front of it that had to get nuked with poison all the time because it was full of mosquito eggs and Florida. Cole for 2 says, did you listen to any of the songs on Hero's channel and her Emily Lucas singing at Whackfest that I sent last week? No, I did not. I apologize. This week has been really busy. you want to, again, post it in the Maddie thread, and I'll try to listen to it. I owe that other guy a review of his music, too, that he sent in last week. Ace of Speds for 1087 says, it's amazing how fast people use a tragedy, unlike the media that's in that forever. White man killed, therefore racist, and even some actually not white, but fuck whitey racist. That's true. Even when black people do it, it's white people's fault for the purely socioeconomic reasons. Sneed for 5 says, a new angle of the Tennessee Troon just dropped. It's only a few seconds to check it out. Let me mute because I do not trust this link whatsoever. Okay, let me explain what I'm looking at. It is a picture of the shooter, and she's got a thick black woman gorilla booty, and all the cops are checking her out like, damn, son. So there's already Rule 34 of this poor woman who was super molested and then killed a bunch of children and then herself, I guess, because that's the internet. Should I show it? Okay, fine, I'll show it. Fuck you. It's very loud. Let me cut it down again. Oh, it doesn't work on Firefox. You're fucked. I mean, again, I feel bad for the female males. I mean, she deserved to die, but getting super molested probably didn't help either with the whole situation. Mike for 2 says, hey Josh, are the rumors true? Are we back? We're so fucking back, my dude. Rock Sand Wolf for 10 says, bark bark. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Twinkle Tart for $100 says, stream is already over. I just got here. Anyways, thanks for reading my super chats about Wolf Tone last week. It appears to have led some controversy. TTD. Yes, everyone is bullying the absolute fuck out of Wolf Tone. Wolf Tone, by the way, okay, so this is about a forum user. His name is Wolfatona. I don't know how to pronounce it, what the official pronunciation is. But Wolf Tone is, I believe that he was, I can't remember, I think he had a charge for beating an elderly woman and also for throwing a bottle of piss at someone. And I think he's been convicted and is set to go to jail or be put on probation directly. And they're bullying him over this. I don't have anything to show for this. I just know that people have been bullying him in chat, and he's been having to deal with it. And there's like a 10 million page private message of people bullying Wolf Tone for throwing piss at people and shit. Yeah, part of Antifa, no. He's a weirdo on the site. Anonymous for 5 says, Sarajevo is a very beautiful and people were friendly, very cheap food and everything too. I visited Banja Luka while I was there. You should go again. It wasn't a shithole. PSTTD. I've never been to Bosnia. I just don't want to go because it's Muslim. As far as I'm concerned, Bosnians and Albanians are the lowest form of people. They are people who got conquered by the Ottomans. And then they got buck broken so fucking bad that they're now the only Muslim countries in Europe. And they just live like that. And they call themselves Muslim because the Ottomans raped their mothers years and years ago, centuries ago. And they just like carried on that tradition of being buck broken servants of Mehmed, Sultan Mehmed or whatever the fuck. Like how fucking vile and disgusting a people can you possibly be? I really hate them. They're literally like festering wounds on the map of Europe. Like these shitty Muslim ghettos that exist for whatever reason in the Balkans because the Sultan told them to. And it makes my skin crawl. Fuck them. Nearer for 250 says that clip of the guy in the Santa suit was Delor. He got banned from competitive Overwatch for saying neighbor 60 times during a melty. The latter he opened contained a playback of his own voice recording played back at him. The clip is funnier when you know that. That is actually very true. It is much funnier when you know that. Thank you. Mikhail Krauser for 2 says, Pete's may be working from home for the Canadian Revenue Agency, #transvisibility. Also, your YouTube description link was typed wrong. Not a big deal, just a heads up. If this is the second donation, enjoy. My first one didn't confirm. It's just your first one, don't worry about it. Sorry, I do type it manually every time. MattAtTheInternet.com will be down until next week when I can finish my transformations to the back-end infrastructure, which I hope I can do today. I would really love it if that was possible. Null's Late and Gay Newswire for 5 says, in case you missed it, the White House was pushing Trans Day visibility yesterday, saying transgender Americans shape our nation's soul. They sure do. They sure do. Just not in the way that anyone would ever possibly want. Gank Anoda Josh for 10 says, no, my name is not Jerish. All I could think of is you ranting about your speeding ticket and police officers on your stream a few years ago. Tell us more base stories about your base grandfather. And yes, I stopped sneezing. It's true. I hate cops. I know what story you're referring to. I don't know. My grandfather. His father fought in World War II, I believe, and was an alcoholic that was very mean to his mother and had a bad habit of starting projects and never finishing them. So conversely, my grandfather does not drink hard alcohol ever, and has a pathological habit of only doing one thing ever. He is very fixated on trying to do one thing to completion before committing to do anything else. He's very, very, very diligent about that because it drove him crazy how his father would start things and never finish them. So he does the exact opposite, where he refuses to start two things at once because it pisses him off, which is a great habit. I wish I was more like that. Anonymous for 2 says, to be honest, I think Mexicans would win against Antifa turds. I remember seeing videos during the BLM riots of Mexicans chasing black people out of their barrios and calling them neighbors. I mean, Mexicans Mexicans are crazy. Mexicans got that Aztec blood in them and shit. They behead people. They feed people's dicks to pigs and shit. They're fucking nuts. Don't fuck with Mexicans. That's why I want them in Mexico, and I want to be safe and sound and away from Mexicans. Yankees Inferno for 20 says, to appease the YouTube gods, please play this loving tribute to CEO Neil Mohan. Let's see. Yeah, I'll play this. It's a minute long. It's pushing it, boy. It's pushing it. I read his essay. He wrote a big essay about his plans at YouTube, and I don't know. It didn't seem like a big departure from Susan Wojcicki. I don't think that he has any intention on easing up on anything. He's definitely his main thing is that he wants to shake YouTube's reputation of being a terrible place for children. That was something that he addressed pretty heavily. But as far as he's not going to be based or anything. Don't hold your breath. Pretty good though. Anonymous for 2 says, there are somehow Bosnians in my state, Idaho. Well, thanks for letting me know to not go to Idaho. I appreciate it. And sorry for your loss. Anonymous for 2 says, I'm 42 minutes behind, but somehow, for some reason, I genuinely thought Antifa would be above accosting a tard, but apparently not. Don't know why you think that. Beating up retards is the only thing they can beat up, so they're going to do it the most. Let's check Odyssey. There is 2 on Odyssey. Dots for 10 posts the flame emoji. Thank you. And J. Calgustinson for 2 says, trannies really are the balls on the dick. And with that, I do believe I am done. A little bit shorter than the last couple, but I don't know. I can't do 3.5 hour long streams every week. Sometimes I just bash through it and bash through the news, and that's what it is. So again, the site will be down for a little bit. Big changes to the infrastructure. I am really, really hoping that this will be the last of major changes I have to make. I have a plan in mind. Plan in motion, plan in mind, plan in motion. Just waiting on some stuff. Pretty hyped. The patches are almost done. New merch I'm working on. I have to find a shirt vendor that can do really high quality scans like that. And when I figure that out, I'll start planning for the next one as well. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to the Gumroad people. Thank you tuning in. And for the super chats. And yeah, I guess that's it. Bye-bye.
Well, Reverend, please come quick, 'cause I got something to admit. I met a man out in the sticks, a good old miss. He drove a Series 10 Cadillac and wore a cigar on his lip. Don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? Saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White as a cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. And he said, I know you, young man. I know you by the state of your hands. You're a six-string picker, just as I am. Let me learn you some, I know a few turns to make all the girls dance. Don't you know the devil wears a suit and tie? I saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White as a cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Oh, foolish, foolish was I. Damn my foolish eyes. Is that man's lessons had a price? Oh, sweet price. My sweet soul, everlasting, my very own eternal life. Don't you know that the devil wears a suit and tie? I saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White as a cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by. Well, the devil wears a suit and tie. I saw him driving down the 61 in early July. White as a cotton field and sharp as a knife. I heard him howling as he passed me by.
Hi Dubs, you do the same shit in your videos.
It's fucking distracting.
Straight off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I'm perfectly fine with bullying. Make fun of someone because they're fat, autistic,
or riddled with acne, I don't care. Make fun of them. I think my only stipulation with the bullying is that you also have to not be a pussy. You see, because if you're a pussy and you're hiding your putrid, malformed chin behind your hand, your sleeve, or your microphone, you're showing people that you are extremely self-conscious. You're showing people that you're a pussy, and that takes a lot of the oomph out of your bullying. I'll get more into